Disclaimer. The information presented regarding the alleged interaction with an extraterrestrial being is not scientifically proven and should be approached with a critical and skeptical mindset. The views and opinions expressed in this context do not necessarily reflect those of this platform or its affiliates. The story is presented for entertainment and educational purposes only. Viewers should conduct their research and seek reputable sources before drawing any conclusions about extraterrestrial life or the existence of other worlds. In the previous episode, we discussed Nurse McElroy's initial interview with the extraterrestrial being named Airl. In this episode, we will continue to explore the topics covered in their conversation. Question: Are you injured? Answer: Yes. Do you need any medical assistance? No, I don't. Do you need any food, water, or other nutrients? No, I don't. I am not a biological entity. Do you have any special requirements for the environment, such as air temperature, atmospheric chemical composition, air pressure, or other waste products? No, I don't. Does your body or spacecraft carry any bacteria or contaminants that could be harmful to humans or other life forms on Earth? There are no bacteria in space. Does your government know that you are here? Not at this time. Will any of your other kind come here looking for you? Yes. What kind of weapons do your people use? Very destructive ones. What planet are you from? Can you describe your home to us? As I am not an astronomer, I am unable to think in terms of planets, star systems, constellations, and their positions in space. The telepathic message I received showed a planet located in the center of a huge cluster of stars, which seemed to be like a home or birthplace to her. This cluster of stars is called the domain, which is equivalent to a territory or national territory, meaning that their home is not a single planet, but rather a massive collection of star systems. How far away is the domain from Earth? Airl provided a distance, which was later determined by experts present to be approximately 40 light-years away. What type of society do you have? Order, power, eternal future, domination, growth. Why did you come to Earth? What attracted you here? We were investigating burning cloud formations, radiation, and explosions. This refers to the human behavior of testing the first atomic bomb a few years prior, which caught their attention. As I understand it, atomic weaponry is a sign of a primitive civilization sending out a signal to the universe, and is an indication of a certain level of development. What caused your spacecraft to crash? The spacecraft was hit by a discharge of lightning in the atmosphere, which caused us to lose control. Why did two flying saucers crash at the same time? I later learned that they could control the spacecraft using their mind. or consciousness, similar to flying in formation. However, a malfunction caused the crash. I believe there was some kind of electronic, neural system connecting their bodies to the spacecraft, allowing them to control it through their own consciousness. Do you have a handwritten language or symbols for communication? Yes. Will your government send representatives to meet with our leaders? No. What is the purpose of your interest in Earth? To preserve, protect ownership of the domain. How long have you been aware of Earth? Much longer than humans. Why have you always kept your existence hidden from humans? To protect, observe. No contact. The telepathic information I received indicated that contact with humans was prohibited, but the crash was an accident. Once we discovered their existence, it was unavoidable. Do you believe in God? We believe in it. It is. It makes it continue. Always. Here, I didn't fully understand Airl's meaning. I speculate that they may not understand the concept of God or worship in the same way as we do. I assume that their society may not have the concept of a God. And even if it was created by someone, they wouldn't consider that person to be their God. My impression is that they give themselves and individuals a very high evaluation. Are there other forms of intelligent life in the universe besides you? Everywhere. We are the greatest, all of the highest level. Airl's answer suggests that their technology is at the highest level in the universe. However, I feel that there may be civilizations more advanced than them in the universe. These conversations were summarized after the first round of talks. When these language dialogues were printed and handed to the people waiting outside, they were very excited. Because it was the first time humans had talked to extraterrestrial life. Although it was just a substitute, the military personnel were disappointed after reading the response. They believed that I didn't have a clear understanding of the information that Airl had provided, and they had to come up with a bunch of new questions. One officer ordered me to wait for further instructions. And I couldn't leave the base as I was being monitored 24 hours. However, I was treated well and could eat, sleep, and use the facilities in the lounge whenever I needed to. The decision was made to assign a few other individuals to question the extraterrestrial being. One was a psychologist who came from the East by plane. And the other was an Indian with remote viewing abilities sent by the CIA from a secret project. But both of their efforts failed, and I couldn't communicate with either of them telepathically. Despite multiple attempts by different experts, no one could obtain any information from Airl. I was brought to another room where a military officer asked me why these experts couldn't communicate with Airl. He asked if I had said something to Airl. I replied that I hadn't. I told them that the reason why they couldn't communicate with Airl was that they were afraid or didn't trust it, and their questions were too complex. However, they didn't know that I tried to ask each question as kindly as possible. Such as, where are you from? What brings you to Earth? I asked where its home was and what attracted it to Earth. I believe Airl could sense my friendliness and sincerity. At the same time, I listened curiously to any information that I could receive from it. However, I didn't have much confidence in the intelligence personnel, or the power department, that manipulated the conversation process. I also began to feel the pressure of being the first person on Earth to communicate with extraterrestrial life. I could understand how Columbus felt when he discovered a new world on a piece of land on a small asteroid. Moreover, what I was about to discover was an unexplored universe that was entirely new to humans. In the end, the decision was made to keep me by Airl's side to see what answers I could obtain from it. I conducted interviews with Airl again and again in the following days, and the answers I received became more and more amazing. My curiosity and excitement gradually turned into fear and anxiety. If it were possible, I wished I could never know these answers. Like and subscribe. During their first interview, Nurse McElroy asked basic questions about Airl's place of origin, destination, and purpose. However, their conversation lacked depth. In their second interview, more detailed and critical questions will be asked to further explore the topics discussed. During the second interview, a one-way mirror was installed in the room to allow for observation without interrupting Airl. The only people present in the room were myself and Airl, as the experts were monitoring the interview from behind the one-way mirror. Airl was placed on a sofa chair that was purchased from a children's furniture store to conform to her body size, although it may not have been necessary for Airl to have a comfortable sofa. As she did not have a biological structure, she did not require food, air, or heat, and she did not need to sleep. Airl did not have eyebrows or upper and lower eyelids, which meant that her eyes remained open all the time. She remained motionless for extended periods, making it difficult to determine whether she was alive or not, except when receiving her idea information. When I entered the room, Airl appeared to be happy, but others could not detect her emotions. When we established a brainwave connection, I felt a surge of comfort and warm emotions that were peaceful and silent. I must say that I was very surprised that an extraterrestrial life form could evoke such emotions without speaking or moving. Only people with high emotional intelligence or skilled meditators on Earth could achieve such a level of emotion without words. The experts who were present for the interview were eager to comprehend how to communicate directly with extraterrestrial beings. They desired to ask Airl's questions alone and understand her communication methods and techniques. The following is a transcript of the second interview. Can you read or write any Earth language? No. Do you understand numbers or mathematics? Yes. I am a military officer, pilot, engineer. Are there any other gestures or methods of communication that can help us understand your thoughts more clearly? No. Can you show us your home planet on a star map? No. Airl's responses were not due to a lack of knowledge about the route between Earth and her birth planet, but rather, a reluctance to reveal its location. Additionally, the planet's location did not exist on any star map on Earth as it was too far away. During my subsequent interview, I discovered that Airl did not hold any emotional attachment to any particular question. How long would it take for your people to rescue you here? Minutes or hours? How can we make them understand that we have no intention of harming you? Intent is clear. See your mindset, image, feeling. Airl meant that as long as she could see your eyes, she would know whether you could be trusted. What kind of assurance would be sufficient to make you feel safe? Only she speaks. Only she hears. Only she asks. No one else. Must know, familiar, understand. This made it difficult for the military, who had plans to question Airl alone. They did not understand Airl's response and how it related to the plan. However, one expert in the group explained that if Airl could not recognize human language and writing, she would not be able to establish trust with humans. Therefore, they decided to provide Airl with books to see if she could understand them. During the interview, I acted as both an interviewer and a teacher. The military borrowed a large number of books from a library, including astronomy, geography, and various other subjects. I selected some of these books as Airl's Enlightenment books, and chose some classic children's books that contained more pictures and fewer words to facilitate Airl's learning. Children's books often contain stories that promote good qualities, such as honesty, diligence, bravery, thrift, and kindness, which are important values for human education. I did not expect Airl to understand the meaning of these words so quickly. It turns out that Airl had an exceptional learning ability. If Airl were a spiritual entity, the other side may have been a massive think tank. Over the next few days, Airl seemed to be fully focused on reading these books, including world history, the Encyclopedia Britannica, medicine, mathematics, physics, biology, geography, and other topics. After Airl's inability to read or write any Earth language, she began reading various literature. Airl showed a keen interest in human history and had already read over 50 history books. In an effort to gauge her interest, military experts provided her with a copy of the Holy Bible. Airl read the book, but she did not offer any response to me. This lack of response from Airl was unexpected by the military experts. Despite spending 12 to 14 hours with her daily, apart from accidentally asking questions, we had no communication for the following week. Airl posed many questions that I was unable to answer, so I sought answers from experts outside of the room. Stay tuned for the next episode, where we will continue to delve into this fascinating story.